think that's the best I'm going to get. Right, hello everybody, it's vanburman here. So, many years ago now, I made a video talking about wanting to, eat more healthily, try and lose some weight, and just, sort of make improvements to my life. Now, I'm sort of just going to give you a bit of an update on that. It sort of went a bit up and down during the whole time since that video. Not a huge amount of progress was made necessarily. Some stuff was, like trying to drink a lot more water and that sort of stuff. Sort of emphasised more on that. Not so much maybe the healthy eating. Definitely did cut down on the amount of takeaways though, so that was a decent start, I guess. But then it just didn't carry on going forward, especially not with, perhaps mostly as well, with the exercise side of things. So, and I figured that at some point I should make a follow-up video to the original one that I made all those years ago. Back, how many years was that? It might be 3 years. It might be. Or like 2.5. Anyway, where was I? So, yeah. So as things stand now, it really sort of got kick-started for me when my Vespa was stolen in January. Those of you who know, I used to have a Vespa. I did a couple of videos for the channel, and that used to be my main form of transport. So that was stolen about the middle of January, and it was found set on fire, which is a very unceremonious way for it to go. And I'll be honest, I was pretty devastated with that. It's never nice to have something that you use every day, that you form a connection with, as funny as that sounds, because it's an inanimate object. You put a lot of time and money and effort, and on that thing I'd been all sorts of places, up to Skegness several times, to Manchester, down to Bournemouth as well, or Wimborne, but Bournemouth, easy for people to know. I think that was probably the furthest. So yeah, it was sad to see that go, and weirdly enough, that was the sort of thing that inspired me to do everything properly, to just eat more healthily, take better care of myself, start going to the gym more. I mean, it's not all been plain sailing, of course, but the majority of the issues I've had since have just been more ones that are out of my control. So I had to start walking everywhere, obviously, because I didn't have the scooter. So walking to and back from work every day, and walking around to collect stuff or get the odd bits for shopping or whatever it may be. That was all. I was doing a decent amount of steps per day, to be fair, when I didn't have the Vespa, and that's really what spurred me on. And from the sort of like start of February onwards, I was properly trying to eat healthier, and I feel like the way I tried to do it it might not work for all people, but as far as I'm concerned, it seems to be working fairly okay for me. So it was just like trying to substitute the stuff I would eat with healthier alternatives as much as I could down the line. Obviously, I set myself some red lines, so there's some stuff which I want to have and that I'm not willing to substitute. So one of the things that I've tried a couple of times is to come off cow's milk, but yeah, to a lesser degree. So instead, my compromise for that has been I've gone down to skimmed milk, for example. I've realised that some of you are now not best pleased. Because but you do get used to skim milk, believe it or not. As much as it is white water, it at least maintains a small amount of the usual flavour of cow's milk. It's actually okay. It is alright when you get used to it, but yeah, for those of you that aren't, it's going to be disgusting. So, but anyway. And it was just, more about doing stuff like that. So nowadays I just end up eating a lot of turkey, effectively. Turkey and chicken, most of my diet. Like, turkey sausages and that sort of stuff are actually alright. I've been saying this to a lot of people, but but turkey sausages are okay. So that paired with going to the gym. I had a few not very nice injuries in the spring that kept me out for a while. But I guess you guys really want to know about the results, don't you? So the biggest things to talk about are when I first started, I weighed myself in January, and I can't remember the exact weight because that information is gone, but it was over 20 stone, is effectively what I'm trying to say. It was probably 20, I'm going to say it was 20 stone, 4 pounds. Because it wasn't flat 20 stone, it wasn't quite 20, I remember it not being quite 20 and a half stone. But yeah, so it was a lot. I mean, it is still a lot, so let's not, draw too many early conclusions. But as things stand, or as of this morning, I guess, I'm now 17 stone 2 pounds. And for a lot of you that might be all irrelevant, you'll have to do the conversions yourself, because I'm not sure what that is, what those two are in kilograms, because I'm imperial. Or some of my stuff, I'd sort of like have a weird imperial metric where I use one for one thing and another for another. But still, anyway, point is, so we're just over 3 stone, or comfortably over 3 stone at this point, which has come off over the course. It's not been a huge drop off. There was perhaps a week, I think, where I lost nearly half a stone in that 1 week. But other than that particular, fluctuation, it's all been coming off quite slowly, to be fair. And it's been coming off a lot more slowly since I've started going to the gym quite a few days a week at this point. So hopefully that means potentially gaining some muscle, which is quite nice. I am adorned in my gym gear this evening because I've just been getting ready to go to the gym, and I thought, you know what, this might be a fitting attire to make this video. I feel like I had more to say. Oh yeah, so I started off wearing 44-inch waist trousers in January, which, if you don't know, is quite big. In fact, it's been reading up on it, and this was only like during the time when I started trying to take better care of myself. But it turns out that sort of anything over 40 leads you to potentially serious health risks. So, or it increases your chances, obviously. It doesn't necessarily mean, I'm sure there are people who live to 90 with 46 inches waist and never experienced, heart failure or heart conditions or anything like that. But the point is, you want to do what you can do to make sure that you're in a more healthy category, so you're less likely to experience that sort of stuff. So I'm now, in the last week, was it last? I can't remember. Last week or 2 weeks, I bought some 38-inch trousers, which I've worn a couple of times this week, worn them today. No problem. I mean, they're a bit tight around the calves, because my calves, I have pretty chunky legs, pretty big legs. I think I always will in that regard. But so that's been really nice, actually. That was one of my very initial sort of goals, was 38-inch waist. I thought would be a good point to get to. So I'd like that to come down a little bit more naturally. My goals are still lower than where we are at the minute. I feel like once I get to 16 stone, that might be where I sort of more evaluate how it's going and work out whether my body's at a point where I want to maintain that, or if I decide I want to go a bit further. But the weight is not really so much the issue, just more how I look. My t-shirt sizes have gone down a size. I can get into, once again, this might not sound like much of an achievement, but it's a pretty big achievement. So usually mostly large in most mainstream stuff, probably, going to be touching on XL, maybe even double XL in some, designer clothes, but I don't really wear that sort of stuff anyway. But the other week I threw out I gave to charity 6 or 7 carrier bags full of clothes that were just way too big. They're like 18-inch collars and that sort of stuff, proper shirts and that sort of gubbins. So there's probably a bit more actually that needs thrown out that I didn't, but still. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much all I can say. And that's all the real, because I don't feel like it would have been any easier learning or sort of getting advice off someone in advance. I feel like the bits of the snippets of advice I've gone and searched for as I've gone along has helped me with my own perception on how to do things. But yeah, if anyone wants any of my tips from my experience, obviously some of it has worked naturally because the weight has come off, the size has come off, the muscle has come on a little bit, but I'm not really that fussed about the muscle. That's just more of a byproduct of trying to, when I work out, make sure I'm working out quite hard. So this is, I suppose, just a bit of an addendum. That's sort of like the end of my main part of the video, but in terms of the stuff I have learned, one of the things for sure is I would recommend trying to drink a lot more water if possible. I definitely feel like that would help in lots of different aspects. You do end up going to the toilet quite a lot though, so do bear that in mind, but it's worth it, I would say. The other thing as well is obviously try and, if you are a meat eater specifically, try and maybe switch to more leaner meats or leaner cuts even. And you can do that without really sacrificing taste so much. Like the turkey sausages I buy from Asda, I think they're really nice. You can also get them with caramelised onion in as well. They're a bit more expensive, about 50p more I think than a normal pack of sausages, but they're very nice, tasty. Other than the salt content, obviously meat is pretty salt heavy, well that sort of stuff is, then they're quite good for you. Relatively, of course, as part of a balanced diet. But no, one of the big issues I also faced was trying to get more vegetables into my diet. So I started buying things like frozen beans and that sort of stuff and cooking that when I was cooking my other dinner to make sure I had a sizable amount of veg on my plate, and trying to have, most days at work I have a turkey salad. So like a pack of turkey with an adorning salad. Not too keen on sauces myself. I like the occasional bit of sweet chilli, but other than that, most days I don't have any, added accoutrement on there. In terms of going to the gym, obviously if you can match the eating healthier with working out as well, getting your exercise in there, that will help. Obviously some stuff is for some people, other stuff is not. A lot of people could get it by, just going out, and if you enjoy cycling, going out and making sure you're doing more cycling, maybe, cycling to and back from work, that sort of stuff. But for me at the gym, the best tactics I have discovered so far is when I go in, I'll do some weights, so I'll work on whatever it is that I feel as I want to work on at the minute. It's mainly triceps and biceps, because I would like to have a decent bit of muscle on my arms, why not, while I'm doing it. Like I say, it's not a primary focus, it's not something I'm particularly bothered about, but I have to do weights on something, so really targeting them at the minute. But always make sure with it that, and it obviously sounds really self-explanatory thinking about it now, going backwards, but always try and pick weights that occasionally pushing yourself. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's alright to do, you might start off with a sort of lower weight than would really push you, then go on to a weight that pushes you, and then try and build up to hitting that next weight. Always be thinking about sort of, can I have a go at doing that next weight up? But obviously make sure you're staying safe and that your form is right. There's no point doing, a really heavy weight if you can't get the form there. So, and then after that, after I've done my weights, I'll then go on the rower, but basically when I say, the rower, I just mean a form of cardio. So, and I do high intensity on there. So what I'll do on the rower is 30 seconds row, 30 seconds rest, and just try and really get the heart rate going up and down. And I end up sweating a heck of a lot through that. That does seriously give me a kick. But like I say, you can do that sort of thing on the bike and everything like that. The thing I've started doing now is trying to mix up my cardio on the rower. So instead of doing the 30 seconds, I'll maybe do, I'll be doing my own custom intervals, but one of the things that's also good is doing like 250 meters, then 40-second rest, so on. Do that 4 times to get to the kilometre, or 6 times to get to 1500. And yeah, just basically trying to work that in. Let your heart rate, build your heart rate up, go hard, bring it back down, go again. And the last part is, I guess, motivation. That thing I can't really give too much advice on. You just got to be willing to kick yourself into touch sometimes and say, you know what, we're going. I'm not one of those people that really enjoys the gym. I know, obviously I've been speaking about it quite a favourable light, but generally I don't enjoy the gym. And basically, you want to get yourself into mentality, or my mentality, sorry, that I got into is, I want to be out of the gym as soon as I can. So, my rest time in between sets is minimal. You know, I'm pretty much from one to the other, do my sets, move on. You know, you do have to give yourself some break. I know people who go there more often and all go there just to weight train will have a more of an extended break, but for me it's more about the exercise part of it as opposed to the, well, as to how you know, how much weight you can pull. So yeah, you know, I do come back from the gym every day knackered when I've been doing my, you know, the rowing. So there you go. That's where I'm at. That's how things are. Don't see anything changes. I'm going to carry on, you know, trying to accomplish what I